Welcome to the news highlight on Operatune TV. I'm Maryam Oke. The federal government has officially fixed the minimum admission age into Nigeria's tertiary institutions at 16, warning that the directive is non-negotiable. Minister of Education Dr. Tunji Alausa made the declaration on Tuesday during the official opening of the 2025 policy meeting of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board held in Abuja. Dr. Alausa emphasized that no candidates below the age of 16 should be considered for admission into any tertiary institution across the country, stating that institutions must comply fully with this policy. He also issued a stern warning that any admission process conducted outside the central admission processing systems would be considered illegal, and individuals or institutions involved would be prosecuted accordingly. According to the minister, the move is part of efforts to standardize the education system, enhance discipline, and curb admission fraud in Nigerian universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education. He maintained that heads of institutions found to be involved in irregular admissions or fraudulent practices would face the full weight of the law. Troops under Operation Safe Haven have intercepted a suspected bandit in Plateau State, foiling an attempted attack on unsuspecting commuters in the Gashish district of Barkin Ladi local government area. The suspect was apprehended in an ambush position along the Kafi Abu Rakwok Road on Sunday night. Military spokesman Major Samson Zakum confirmed the arrest and stated that a fabricated AK-47 rifle, an AK-47 magazine, and 30 rounds of 7.62 mm special ammunition were recovered from the suspect. The military says the suspect is in custody and undergoing further investigation, with operations underway to locate other members of the criminal syndicate. Flooding has displaced hundreds of residents in Kababunu local government area of Kogi State, where over 500 homes were submerged following 3 days of continuous rainfall. Properties worth millions of naira were destroyed, leaving many families without shelter. The Ide community was reportedly the worst hit area, with a traditional ruler, Chief Obahunlewo, among those affected. Over 1,500 domestic animals were also lost in the disaster. In Ondo State, prolonged downpours led to the collapse of 7 bridges across 3 senatorial districts, cutting off residents from their workplaces, farms, and markets. Emergency response efforts are ongoing in both states as residents call for urgent government intervention. Moving forward, internally displaced persons from the Yellowater community in Benue State have rejected calls to return home, citing ongoing security concerns. The displaced persons, numbering over 3,000, are currently taking refuge at a temporary camp located at the International Market in Makurdi, following a deadly attack by suspected armed herders that claimed about 200 lives on June 13, 2025. Tensions have since risen within the camp as traditional rulers continue to push for resettlement. However, the displaced person says they lack confidence in government assurances on safety. Meanwhile, Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Aondwase Kumde, disclosed that the camp has been infiltrated by individuals from outside the affected community, including market women and suspected criminals. At least 50 unauthorized individuals have been arrested so far. And from the foreign scene, the Israeli military has confirmed the death of 5 soldiers during combat operations in the northern Gaza Strip, one of the deadliest days for Israeli forces in 2025. Reports reveals that 2 other soldiers were severely wounded and evacuated for medical treatment. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu describes the incident as a difficult morning. However, the United States is pushing for a 60-day ceasefire proposal that will see Hamas release 10 living hostages and several bodies in exchange for Palestinian detainees. Hamas is demanding conditions that include guarantees against renewed fighting and a return to UN-led aid distribution. Recall that since the war began in 2023, over 445 Israeli soldiers have been killed, with the humanitarian situation in Gaza worsening for over 2 million residents. Finally, from the world of sport, Nigeria sprinter Kanyinsola Ajayi delivered a sensational performance on Monday evening, clocking 9.92 seconds to win the men's 100-meter final at the Meeting International des Sautes-les-Ruines in France. Ajayi's victory broke the meet record of 10.02 seconds set by Kirsten Bledman of the Trinidad and Tobago in 2015. Running from lane 5 with a reaction time of 0.156 seconds, Ajayi outspaced a strong field featuring 5 sub-10 sprinters. However, his time equals his personal best from the NCAA championships and ties him with Seun Ogunkoya and Udodi Onwuzurike as the 4th fastest Nigerians in history. Recall that Ajayi won the Nigerian national title and competed in the Paris 2024 Olympics, where he reached the 100-meter semi-finals and ran in the 4 times 100-meter relay team that secured a silver medal at the African Championships earlier this year. And that wraps up our news highlights from Operatune TV. Join us at 5 for our comprehensive news stories. Be it as it may, please download the Naija TV app to watch us live from anywhere across the globe. Until then, I am Maryam Oke. Do stay with us.